Good afternoon, everybody. It's not anybody here. I'm alone. But I'm saying good afternoon, everybody, to all listeners on YouTube. Thanks to YouTube that YouTube made that possible. The technology does exist to take my voice and my experience everywhere. That's great. Today I'm going to talk about Instamode again. This is Instamode number 15. It should have been number 1. Happened to be that at a very early young age of 3, I was only 3 years old, I was diagnosed for perfect pitch. I was able to hear all kinds of combinations of notes. However, combinations were done in a Russian style. So let's say I have perfect Russian pitch. All training was based on consonants. Seven chords, dominant. And of course, we got diminished, augmented. So my ears were adjusted to those sounds. I've heard many pieces that were written in a key of C or D, especially Mozart music, Beethoven music, even Chopin music. And I did comprehend all of them perfectly, I would say. I could hear really every note in music of Mozart and Beethoven. I cannot say I can hear every note in the music of Bach. That required special training. That's what I'd like to talk about. So, ability to hear music and comprehend which note was played is kind of very huge task. Every one of us has a different view on it. Every one of us has different ability to comprehend music. It's just only one test does exist. Is the test of musical dictation. Melodic and harmonic. As I know, we have one voice dictation, 2, 3, 4, 5, polyphonic dictation. And only that test could determine what kind of ears players got. How sharp their ears to all kinds of sounds. For instance, for me it was I've had no difficulties to recognize major chords, minor chord, 7 chord, even more complicated chords, but it was not enough to recognize something like this. I have had trouble with that. But I knew people who were able to do that. They were musicians who played in a symphonic orchestras as an instrumentalist. They were able to hear some of those things. And I believe that every musician who has a perfect pitch should not take it for granted. It has to be constantly sharpened and developed to a great degree that all those clusters, as we call them, will be heard in a clear way. That's why I developed my Instamode as a ear training tool. Most of those clusters do exist, and they employ the notes that are here, right in the middle of the keyboard, closer to the screen. So it's something like this. What is it? If you will play for somebody that, it'll say, which notes I played. Only few people could answer, even with the perfect pitch. They will ask you, play it again. And again. And again. But they should have answered right for first time. Like C major chord. Simple. Why this is difficult? Poor ear training. Not enough. So, music by Debussy and Ravel, never mind Weinberg, Shostakovich, Prokofiev, and others, will be heard in a proper way. I do recall my mom. She had perfect pitch. She was able to recognize every simple chord instantly. And then I played for her some jazz excerpts, and I played for her some other music, contemporary music. She said, stop play that. Please stop play that. It hurts my ears. It's not music. It's gibberish. It's clusters. They're bunched up together, all kind of notes. She had really musical pain from listening music by Prokofiev, Shostakovich, and others. I would say with Debussy it was a little bit better. Ravel too. But everything after that, including some latest work of Rachmaninoff, she couldn't bear with that. And I asked her, do you know, Mom, what's the difference between jazz and classical music? She says, yes, of course, my son, I know. When my head hurts, it's jazz. Oh my God, I couldn't believe that. My father was much more accurate with his statement. He also had perfect pitch, but his ability to hear it was more tolerant. He heard all the dissonances, all that. And for him, it was acceptable. But for my mom, it was disaster. So, when I first time heard music by Debussy, that in 1950s was also prohibited, and music by Ravel also was prohibited. But then I heard first, I didn't know what to make up with that. So it was sound very strange to me. Until age of 15, I didn't touch even anything by Debussy and Ravel. After that, yes. But my ears are still Russian perfect ears. So I could hear combination of simple chords, even if you will play for me C major and F sharp major and or any combinations like this. But this, I cannot do it. And I'm trying to develop that, because in jazz improvisation that I'm very interested in, players very often use that area of the piano, like Beethoven's chords. Can you imagine you have the left hand here and the right hand something is played here? Oh, that's difficult to hear. By playing Instamode, it could be developed. then you could play like that. And many other ways to play it. But that's not all. It's so many other things that musician, especially jazz musician and contemporary composer, has to know in order to be in music business today. Well, I'm trying to help them as well as I try to help myself. Try Instamode. See if you will be able to sharpen your ears. And then go to the record and verify if I'm right or wrong. Hopefully, I'm correct. Have a lovely day and have a nice playing experience with jazz music and Instamode. Take care.